Hi! Have you ever watched a horror movie and thought, man, if I were there, this would be over in 5 minutes? Yeah, same. I mean, come on. Half of these so-called terrifying monsters move slower than my Wi-Fi on a bad day, and don't get me started on the victims, tripping over air, making the worst life choices, and splitting up like they actually want to die. So today, let's talk about horror movie villains I could absolutely wreck. No fancy weapons, no plot armor, just me, my big mouth, and a whole lot of bad decisions that somehow work in my favor. Now, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and let's do this. Chucky, how I kick a killer doll ass. Horror movies really expect us to believe that a tiny plastic doll can kill a bunch of full-grown adults and not one of them thinks to just punt it like a football. Seriously? I'd understand if it were a robot doll with lasers and AI trying to exterminate humanity, but no, it's just Chucky, a doll possessed by a balding serial killer who did some discount voodoo magic. Now, let's imagine Chucky shows up in front of me. He's holding a tiny knife, squeaking out some scary lines. Me? I just stand up, and kick him across the room. Boom! Chucky goes flying like a cheap Happy Meal toy down a sewer drain. The end. But nope. Movie characters love running around in terror instead of using basic survival instincts. And if Chucky somehow crawls back for round 2, fire. Plastic's worst nightmare. I'll just flick a lighter, set him ablaze, and watch him melt like a knockoff Barbie in a microwave. But if I'm feeling a little extra, industrial shredder, baby! I'll toss him in, press the button, and watch as the plastic menace gets torn into a million pieces. If I'm feeling generous, I'll just chain him up, toss him in a lake, and let nature handle the rest. Or better yet, bury him so deep the earthworms start filing complaints. Bottom line, Chucky is only scary if you let him be. To me, he's just a toy that I can crush like a stale gummy bear. Annabelle, that does nothing but still scary doll. Have you ever been scared of a doll? I have, but only when I dropped my sister's Barbie head in the toilet and my mom threatened to curse me with it. But Annabelle? Oh, Annabelle doesn't do anything. She just sits there looking creepy, and somehow everyone in the movie scares themselves into a heart attack. Now, picture me locked in a room with Annabelle. The lights flicker, whispers fill the air, objects move on their own, and then, oh no, Annabelle is still sitting there, not moving. So terrifying. Seriously, why does no one just pick her up and chuck her out the window? Movie characters love opening Annabelle's glass case like they've never seen a horror movie before. Why are people so curious about a demon-possessed doll? If it were me, I'd seal her in a lead-lined wooden box, drop it into the ocean, and let James Cameron film Titanic 3 to go find it. And if Annabelle somehow still manages to haunt me, I'd call a priest, dump a bucket of holy water on her, and wrestle the demon out of that plastic shell. But realistically, I'd just ignore her. Annabelle feeds on fear. So if I treat her like a defective toy from Walmart, she's powerless. Bottom line, Annabelle isn't scary. She's just a plastic doll whose greatest power is sitting still and making you paranoid. Me? I'd lock her in a cabinet, slap a sign on it that says, "Not Annabelle, do not open," and wait for some idiot to open it anyway. Pennywise, the intergalactic clown who makes kids run faster. Have you ever wondered why clowns always end up in horror movies? I have. I once went to a mall magic show and saw a grown man cry because he got picked to participate. That's when I realized if you want a villain who's weird, creepy, and ridiculously goofy, a clown is your best bet. And Pennywise? Oh boy, he's not just your average balloon animal making clown. He's a cosmic entity from a place called the Macroverse, which sounds like a parallel universe where McDonald's serves Big Macs the size of cars. He can shapeshift into your worst fear. Imagine being terrified of unpaid bills and Pennywise shows up in a tax collector's uniform like, "Sir, you have outstanding payments. Would you like to set up a payment plan?" But my biggest question, why does he only eat kids? I mean, he's an ancient, all-powerful being, yet he's out here snacking on children like they're chicken nugget. Why not go after something more challenging? A billionaire? A YouTuber who reacts to horror movies for views? And here's the cheat code to beating him. Don't be scared. Seriously, just look him in the eye and yell, "Haha, you look like a rejected cereal mascot." And he'll shrink faster than a dude realizing he forgot his anniversary. Instead of running, just roast him like a Comedy Central special and boom, problem solved. Bottom line? Pennywise is just a cosmic bully who'd rather scare kids than actually do anything serious. If I ever met him, I'd hand him a new wig, invite him to do stand-up, and film a TikTok titled, "What Happens When Pennywise Gets Roasted Online?" Samara, the ghost with a TV sponsorship deal. Remember when VHS tapes were the height of technology? Back when you had to rewind manually, and if someone accidentally recorded over your favorite cartoon, that was grounds for a lifelong feud? Then along came Samara Morgan, the ghost who decided VHS tapes weren't scary enough and turned watching movies into a death sentence. Basically, Samara is like a demonic YouTuber, except instead of asking you to like and subscribe like us, she gives you 7 days to write your will, watch her tape, and you die unless you share it with someone else. Wow. If this isn't the most cursed pyramid scheme ever, I don't know what is. Her backstory? Super tragic. Abandoned by her parents, thrown down a well, and now she's just a vengeful ghost with bad hair and a TV obsession. But listen, instead of murdering people, why not use those supernatural powers to, I don't know, play the stock market or rig the lottery? Imagine a ghost who's rich as hell instead of crawling out of TVS like a girl who overslept her alarm. How do you beat her? Just don't watch the tape, or if you do, just copy it and send it to someone else. Sounds morally questionable, but hey, if anyone's to blame, it's whoever invented viral marketing. And if she shows up on day 7, easy. Turn off your TV, unplug it, or just leave the house. Honestly, who even dies from a ghost in a TV anymore? Instead of freaking out, just sit her down with a bowl of ramen and be like, all right, kid, let me introduce you to Netflix and Spotify. GHOSTFACE, the killer with the best phone plan. All right, horror fans, let me ask you this. If a masked psycho calls you at midnight and asks, what's your favorite scary movie? What do? If you're in Scream, the answer is scream like a doomed extra and run upstairs, where there is absolutely no escape. But if you have an IQ higher than room temperature, you'd hang up, turn on location tracking, and text the cops. Hey, some dude in a Halloween mask is threatening me. Please get over here now. Ghostface is one of Hollywood's most persistent killers, not because he's supernatural, but because people keep being dumb enough to let him win. Every movie, some new lunatic puts on the mask thinking that murder is a great way to go viral on TikTok. Listen, there are plenty of ways to get attention without stabbing people, like pouring Coke into a cereal bowl and calling it homemade boba tea. Ghostface's weakness? He's just a dude. You can punch him, kick him, shove him down a flight of stairs, and he'll tumble like a soccer player faking an injury. But nope, horror movie characters always run upstairs, the one place with no exit. Instead, be like Sidney Prescott, grab a weapon, aim for the throat, and punt his phone across the room. And if you really want to mess with him, just rip his mask off. Why? Because every Ghostface ever has been someone the victims already know. Pull it off and yell, aha, I knew it was you. While he's standing there looking dumb and dramatic, you can dropkick him through a window and sprint to freedom. So, bottom line, if you ever get a creepy phone call, don't panic, don't answer unknown numbers, and for the love of all things logical, don't run upstairs. And hey, if you've got enough time to play trivia night with a murderer, you've got enough time to order a self-defense shotgun on Amazon Prime. The Blob, the jiggly nightmare you can't eat. All right, what's the worst nightmare of every gym rat, can swallow an entire city, and doesn't even need bones to function? That's right, the Blob, the ultimate proof that space hates us. So picture this, it's the 1950s, and as usual, Earth gets hit by a random space rock, because apparently aliens never throw down anything useful, like a self-charging phone or unlimited cash. Nope, we get sentient goo that devours everything it touches. Humans? Eaten. Cars? Gulp. Small towns? Just an appetizer. The Blob's one weakness? Cold temperatures. Yeah, turns out this thing is like a person who only lives in Miami and immediately freezes if he sets foot in Canada. Just freeze it and it just gives up on life. In the 1958 movie, they chilled it, stuffed it in a container, and dropped it in the Arctic like that was gonna solve anything. But, global warming, folks. So technically, at some point, Blob might just wake up and be like, time for seconds. In the 1988 remake, the military tries to take it down, but let's be real, shooting at a giant alien jello is about as effective as arguing with a toddler. Fire slows it down, but the only way to stop it forever, you guessed it, freeze it solid. So, if you ever see a giant oozing slime monster coming your way, run to the nearest supermarket, dive into the freezer section, or make friends with an ice cream truck guy. Done. The Nun, when demons pick the wrong career. Honestly, if I were an ancient demon trying to haunt humans, I wouldn't dress up as a nun. Why? Because if I wanted to terrify people at night, I'd just turn into a printer jamming at 2 a.m. in an empty office. Way scarier. But no, Valak, The demon with questionable career choices decided that a creepy nun outfit was the way to go. So where did it show up? First, The Conjuring 2 in 2016, where it played hide and seek with Ed and Lorraine Warren. Then it got its own solo movie, The Nun, in 2018, where we learned that a Romanian monastery summoned it. Because, of course, if you see a dark basement with a door labeled, "Do not open," you open it, right? Brilliant. Then came The Nun 2 in 2023, because who doesn't love a sequel that milks the franchise for all it's worth? How do you defeat Valak? Easy. Splash some Jesus blood on it. Yep, turns out holy water is basically demon bleach. Sister Irene did that in The Nun 2018, and boom, Valak got cooked like a forgotten pizza in the oven. Or you could just scream its name really loudly, like Lorraine Warren did in The Conjuring 2. Apparently, demons hate being called by their full name. It's like when your mom yells at you using your first, middle, and last name, run. So, if you're scared of Valak, remember this: strong faith will protect you. Or at the very least, keep a bottle of holy water handy. Because even if it doesn't work, at least your hands will be clean before dinner. The leprechaun, when greed goes too far. You know what's scarier than a demon haunting you at 3 a.m.? A 4-foot-tall goblin screaming about his missing gold. Seriously, if you think loan sharks are bad, let me introduce you to Leprechaun, the ultimate debt collector. He first showed up in Leprechaun 1993, where he went on a murder spree because someone borrowed his gold. Remember that time you found a random 20 on the street and thought, sweet, free money? Wrong. It wasn't free. A tiny Irish monster gave it to you and now he wants it back with interest. But here's the thing, Leprechaun is dumb, like really dumb. He can be defeated by a 4-leaf clover. Yeah, that thing kids find in playgrounds. Or you could melt his gold. Seriously, if this guy ever checked gold prices, he'd probably have a meltdown. But if you really want to get rid of him, toss him into a metal trash compactor. Yep, in Leprechaun Returns 2018, the dude got straight up recycled. Honestly, he might be the only horror villain who can be defeated by the waste management department. So, yeah, if you ever see a shiny gold coin lying around, don't pick it up. Or else you might have to run from a supernatural maniac who can be defeated by a common grass. Gremlins, when your pet comes with a self-destruct button. Ever wanted a pet but hated the idea of cleaning up after it? Well, congrats. The Gremlins are perfect for you. A cute little furball that can literally destroy an entire town if you forget to set an alarm. So here's the deal. Some clueless dad buys his kid a Mogwai for Christmas, and along with it comes a set of rules that sound like they belong in a tech support manual. 1, don't feed it after midnight. But what if it's in a different time zone? 2, don't let it touch water. So does it just live in eternal deodorant? 3, keep it away from bright light. Does it at least wear SPF? Of course, in under 30 seconds, the main characters break every single rule. And bam! Mogwai turns into gremlins, tiny monsters that enjoy wrecking everything like unsupervised toddlers in a candy store. These things trash buildings, terrorize people, and probably steal your Netflix password. But don't worry, defeating gremlins is easier than ignoring a group chat. Flash a light, grab a gun, or, in a pinch, use a blender. Yep. Billy and his girlfriend Kate took down an entire gremlin army with nothing but kitchen appliances and some common sense. Moral of the story? Never accept pets from dads who shop at sketchy stores. The Tethered, when your evil twin wants to unalive you. Ever look in the mirror at 3 a.m. and think, wow, I look terrifying? Well, bad news, that might not be you. It might be the Tethered, your underground doppelganger who's been practicing murder with a pair of scissors. So here's the deal. The US government, of course it's them, decided to create doppelgangers, clones of people to, I don't know, control the masses or some dumb sci-fi experiment. But oops, the project failed. And now these clones live in tunnels mimicking every move their above ground counterparts make like broken NPCs. They're starving, angry, and really into stabbing people with scissors. One day, these creeps decide to pull a "we're here, we're stabby, get used to it," and invade the surface, ready to replace their originals in the bloodiest way possible. Weapon of choice? Scissors. Yes, the same thing your mom uses to cut couch fabric is now a symbol of the apocalypse. But don't worry, taking them down is easier than scoring front row seats at a Taylor Swift concert. 1, do weird, unpredictable things. Break dance, sing opera, read out loud your credit card debt. 2, lure them into tight spaces and take them out one by one. Basically Among Us, but in real life. 3, use weapons. guns, bats, even a good frying pan if necessary. Moral of the story? The US government should really stop making things they can't control. And yeah, you've known the ways to totally survive a horror movie, whether it's outsmarting a gold-hungry leprechaun, setting gremlins on fire, or making your creepy underground doppelganger question its life choices. Just destroy them your way. Horror villains rely on people making dumb decisions, but guess what? I can make stupider decisions, and I do it on purpose. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss part 2 until I make it. See you soon.